The summer holiday had finally begun. No more waking up early, no more school uniforms, no more homework. For most children in the neighborhood, it was the happiest time of the year. For Sonia, however, the holiday felt a little lonely. Her mother worked as a chef in a restaurant in town, and her father ran a block-making business. They left home early every day and often returned late in the evening. As the youngest child in the family, Sonia spent many afternoons by herself. But she wasn't completely alone. She had two close friends, Faith and Margaret. Faith was calm most of the time. Margaret was the adventurous one. If there was trouble nearby, Margaret would probably find it. One hot afternoon, Sonia's mother prepared to leave for work. "Sonia," she said, "I've already washed some clothes. Please do the dishes, sweep the house, and stay close to home. Don't go far, okay, Mom?" Sonia replied. After her mother left, Sonia finished every chore she had been given. By midday, the heat inside the house became unbearable. So she sat outside, drawing shapes in the sand and playing with small stones. A few minutes later, Margaret appeared. "Sonia," she called excitedly. "What is it?" Sonia asked. "Faith, my brothers, and I are going to the river to swim." "The river?" Sonia repeated. "Yes, the one near the edge of the village. Lots of children are already there." Sonia immediately shook her head. "My mom told me not to leave the house." Margaret rolled her eyes. "We'll be back before she returns." "She won't even know." Sonia hesitated. "I don't know." "Oh, come on," Margaret said. "If you're scared, you don't even have to swim. You can just watch us." Faith arrived and smiled. "It's going to be fun." For a moment, Sonia thought about her mother's warning. Then she looked at her friends. Finally, she gave in. "Okay, but we must come back early." The children happily set off toward the river. When they arrived, several other children were already swimming and laughing in the water. The river sparkled under the afternoon sun. The sound of splashing and laughter filled the air. Soon, Margaret and Faith jumped into the water. Sonia stayed on the riverbank at first. She watched everyone having fun. Part of her wanted to join them. After a while, she slowly stepped into the water. Because she wasn't a strong swimmer, she stayed close to the shallow area. The water felt cool and refreshing. For a few minutes, everything seemed perfect. But then Sonia noticed something. Margaret and a few older children had swum farther away, toward the deeper part of the river. The water there looked darker, deeper, more dangerous. A strange feeling settled in Sonia's stomach. Then suddenly, help. Sonia froze. At first, she thought someone was joking. Then she heard it again. "Help! Help me!" Her heart began to race. It was Margaret. The girl was struggling wildly in the water. Her arms were flailing. She was trying to stay above the surface. Then, she disappeared beneath the water. For one terrifying second, nobody could see her. When she came back up, she was screaming, "I'm drowning!" Faith had already climbed out of the river and stood frozen with fear. Margaret's brothers were farther away and didn't realize what was happening. Sonia felt helpless. She wasn't a strong swimmer. If she jumped into the deep water, she could drown too. So instead, she and Faith began screaming for help. "Help! Please, help! Our friend is drowning." Their voices echoed across the area. Thankfully, a farmer was walking nearby on his way home. The moment he heard the screams, he dropped what he was carrying and ran toward the river. Without hesitation, he jumped into the water. Sonia watched anxiously. Seconds felt like hours. Finally, the farmer reached Margaret and pulled her toward the shore. Margaret was coughing violently. She had swallowed a lot of water. The girl stood trembling as the farmer helped her recover. Nobody spoke for several minutes. The laughter that had filled the river earlier was gone. Now there was only silence. The reality of what had almost happened began to sink in. Margaret could have died, all because they ignored the warnings they had been given. The children quickly gathered their things and returned home. For the rest of the evening, Sonia couldn't stop thinking about the river. She thought about her mother's warning. She thought about how close they had come to losing a friend. That day taught them a lesson they would never forget. Sometimes parents give rules not to spoil our fun, but to protect us from dangers we cannot yet see. And from that day on, none of them ever went to the river alone again.